Welcome back to the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. You join us for episode 18 of season 14. We've got a treat in store this week because it's just your dynamic duo of John Cassidy and myself. Welcome to the show, John.
Just the two of us. Yeah, I love episodes like this, and I think it has been fed back that some listeners also like it when it's just us boys. Hey, in the crack. So this one is just for you guys, which is everybody. Yeah, it's good to be here, good to chat. We're past the middle of January already. So there's been some big winter activity that we'll speak about in a wee minute. Stuff's kicking off this weekend as well, down in the Cornwall area. It's going to be starting off down there as well. The year's getting going, Stevie boy, with the running stuff, isn't it?
It most certainly is, John. And what I want to actually hear a wee bit of retrospective on is our Running Rants episode.
Oh, yes. One of the favourites. I'm smiling already just thinking about it. It was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, and also the unawards, actually, because on the unawards, we challenged people to draw big willies on their Strava.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And a few people got right into the swing of things. Swing being the opposite word.
It did indeed, yeah.
So
but
it's just a reminder, because you maybe missed that one because it was buried in such more fun of.
Well, I think it distracted us for a wee bit when we were talking about it, didn't it? Thinking about where can we go, what can we do? Because I think you said to me that the North Inch is an easy one, right? To go and do it on the North Inch is an easy one. We're looking for locations that no difficult. Creative's a word. Let's get creative out there. Show your Bobby Strava art is what we're going for. We're 2 minutes in.
I know.
Oh, what about that? What about the back, the stickers, man? Eh? They've been crazy.
They have, yes. There's been a clamour of people wondering how they can get their hands on a limited edition shite bag if you didn't sticker.
I think the that came up. We should say that the Unawards 2024 is where Slap the Bonnet came from, and then we got going with the Slap the Bonnet stickers were made for that, and a T-shirt as well. This year, Unawards 2025, shite bag if you didn't. It's the phrase. It's the ultimate Scottish challenge that we can think of. And the stickers arrived just in time for me to come to the 5-star night out, the celebration on Saturday afternoon. And then I was at the Nigel Barge on Sunday and handed out a few, got some right laughs. See a bit about the 5-star decade. Let's do that.
Right, so 5-Star Run Club is my wife Fiona's running initiative in Auchterarder, and it was 10-year-old last weekend, and we had a series of celebratory events, whether that was running or a socializing. And John would be at the opening of an envelope.
100%.
So no one to miss such a gathering was present. Getting selfies with Obdi like some kind of.
I don't think so. My time is limited because I was DJing on Saturday night, but I went along. There's no way I was missing it. I went along for a short while. It was lovely to catch up with some people, and I've seen some photographs on social media on Sunday and Monday about people from the weekend, and it's quite phenomenal. Not just in Auchterarder, and we spoke before about the stuff that Run Raichon does as well. These groups are there. Folk are doing it just for the love of running and the love of a community, but they're so self-supporting. But to see it close up on Saturday in Aberystwyth was brilliant. And folk weren't wearing running clothes. They were all dressed up, which was brilliant.
When you there recognise people,
Aye.
Like there's somebody speaking to you that you've maybe ran miles with, and you're like, who are you? Because they've got their civvies on.
Because you didn't often look at folk in the face either, because they're beside you. Do you know what I mean? So it's or if you're B, you're seeing behind them Very rarely am I in front of anybody.
Yeah,
But
so
no,
it
it
was
was good
great.
though.
It was great to see what she's created, and it's all these friendships and shared experiences. It's quite a nice vibe. Vibe's the word just now, eh? It's a vibe.
Mm. And I think when it comes to things like the Auchterarder Running Festival in the Chile, some of the people that were there on Saturday or who have been there across the decade since Five Stars started, they might not be running it, but they'll come along and they'll marshal, they'll volunteer. They're the folk that are handing out medals, T-shirts, all that stuff at registration. So it's the whole thing, you know. It's not just about getting up and running a couple of times a week. It's what they put back in as well. So fair play and thank you to everybody that takes part in that.
You mentioned another weekend event that you took part in, the Nigel Bars. It's Mary Hill
Yeah, Mary Hill
based event.
Harriers.
Mary
Yeah,
Hill
Mary Hill.
Harriers staged that
Yeah,
event. It's a couple of laps. It's quite hilly. How did you get on, John?
I did very well. I've got a wee story. I've always got a story, haven't I? How that started, I'm sure Bunty said to me, it might not have been the exact words, but it was something along the lines of shite bag if you didn't, years ago. And I've been going, that was my 4th time at the Nigel Barge on Sunday. But what happened was, you know, my daughter got married last year. One of the bridesmaids at the wedding said to me, John, I've got a playlist that's for me and Megan. The wedding speech was all to do with songs and stuff. I've got a playlist about songs that remind me of you as well. I said, how long is that playlist? It's an hour and 2 minutes. I said, go and send me that. I'm going to try and finish the Nigel Barge. Because I think last year it was an hour and 4 minutes. I said, I'm going to try and finish the Nigel Barge before that playlist finishes, an hour and 2 minutes. I finished in 56 minutes and I even got to hear the last 2 songs, Stevie boy. So
56 minutes.
That's good for me. I seen
Good for
running.
anybody.
Aye, I was absolutely delighted. I seen running legend from Cumbernauld, Paul Stoddy Stoddart. He was something like 38 minutes or something, rattled round it, you know. But the good news for me is I never got lapped.
That was good. That's a good driver.
Yeah, but it was good to see loads of familiar faces. Tony, Gillian McGill were there. Rachel McPherson, Carly McPherson was there. Carly got her 10k PB at the weekend.
Brilliant.
Annie Walters was there. And Sharon, for Pro Tay Timing, I never realised how big they're getting. They're getting to be quite a big company. Had a good crack with Sharon as well. And loads of other people too. So it was really, really good crack. Yeah. Nice to see. And Bunty. Seen Bunty as well, obviously. You know?
Of course, this is Bunty's domain.
Yeah.
And, well, let's get on to the start of the month. No, the start of the month. The Dot Watching Festival, which is the Spine and all its different distances. John, you were keeping a close eye on happenings down on the Pennine Way.
Yeah, got to say massive thank you to Debbie Martin-Kinsani for her contributions last week. She whetted a lot of people's appetites, and that episode has went down a storm. So massive thank you to Debbie, who was also at Nigel Barge in a viewing, taking photographs capacity. She got a sticker as well. But full spine race is 268 miles on the Pennine Way. You get 168 hours to complete it. The male winner and overall winner was Sebastian. I'm going to go for Raichon. That can be challenged, but Sebastian Raichon, 95 hours, 43 minutes, 52 seconds. It has been said that this year it set a new bar for resilience because of the conditions. We spoke about that with Debbie last week, and Debbie articulated brilliantly about the performance of Jack Scott going out and cutting a path for people, you know, because the Spine Challenger South goes off first. So he was doing that. So, but Sebastian was followed by James White from the UK in 101 hours, 52 minutes, and James Hargreaves also from the UK. So Sebastian's from France. James Hargreaves 105 minutes. The women's winner was Anna Troup, and there was a bit of a back and forth with Anna and a lady, I think it was Johanna from Finland, who had to unfortunately drop out, but Anna Troup went on and won the women's race in 106 hours and 19 minutes, followed by previous guest, friend of the show, Fiona Horsfield in 112 minutes and 48, sorry, 112 hours and 48 minutes. So massive congratulations to Fiona. And the women's third overall spine was Sophie Grant from New Zealand in 117 minutes, 32. 117 hours, 32. Sorry, that's a long, long way. 117 hours, yeah. But it's been said that folk were being pushed to their limits with the winter conditions. There was a cold snap, violent storms. The course became, there was like sub-zero temperatures with biting winds. And this is the thing when they're talking about you need all that kit for that sort of stuff, you know, that you can't just go in your normal running shoes. You're dealing with, like, I don't know, the ice spikes and all that sort of stuff to get a grip and navigate your way forward. I know Craig Stokes, when he mind me saying, Craig Stokes dropped out at Hebden Bridge because it was just so brutal, the conditions. But Craig, I noticed on social media, it felt like almost as soon as he stopped, he was writing about the messages encouraging people forward. So Craig will go back, I'm sure, another day and give it another go. Well, sorry, that's not a challenge, Craig, but I know that he's probably got a big itch to scratch. And then there was, we'll do with the wee ones first, the Sprint North, which is 43 miles. It was new to the summer last year. So, and you get 18 hours to complete that. And John Shield and Damien Hall finished it in 8 hours and 6 minutes. Mental stuff. The women's winner was Louise Goddard in 11 hours 53. And then the Sprint South, which is 46 miles, you've still got 18 hours. Jo Leadley in 8 hours 17. And in the ladies, Sophie Littlefair in 11 hours. So well done to them. Inaugural events, course record holders. Then there's two other things, but there's two parts to both of them, because in the Challenger North and the Challenger South, there's also the Mountain Rescue Race, where you only get to enter that if you're a member of a mountain rescue team. Yeah. So Challenger North, first of all, 160 miles. You've got 108 hours to complete it. First finisher was Harry Firth in 46 hours and 29 seconds. Could be wondering if Harry thinking I could have got a sub 46, but he's probably not bothered.
He wouldn't be bothered, John.
Not be bothered about that. The women's title was shared by Elaine Bisson and Nikki Spinks, previous guest, friend of the show, in 55 hours 57. So that's a brilliant return. Nikki and Elaine shared a good few miles towards the end of that race. Got to give a massive shout out again to another previous guest and friend of the show, Ali McGill, who finished fourth woman in the Challenger North in a time of 63 hours and 38 minutes. We know that Ali, she'd done absolutely brilliantly in a number of different disciplines, from running the ACP for Scotland, running in the Fling the Devil, the West Highland Way. She's won that a number of times, but was looking for a new challenge, and she certainly found it. But man, she executed that race brilliantly to get that done. So well done to Ali McGill.
Just a shout out for another previous guest. Dan Kershaw did the Challenger North as well.
Yes, he did, yeah.
Finished it, which, you know, Dan's always doing remarkable things. So well done, Dan. Just wanted to acknowledge it. And
when we spoke to Dan, he'd been on the spine. He got lost, didn't he, towards the end of the spine? You know, just that, whether it was almost hallucinations, but just severe exhaustion as well. Yeah. So to see him finish that race last week was absolutely brilliant. So massive congratulations to Dan, yeah. The mountain rescue races were won by Rhys Beddoe for the men in 54 hours 42 for the Challenger North, and for the ladies, Cleo Bishop Bolt in 87 minutes and 51 minutes. And then the Challenger South, a couple of previous guests and friends of the show, that trailblazer, Jack Scott. It's 108 miles of Challenger South, and you get 60 hours to complete it. Jack Scott, and I've got a whole new level of appreciation after speaking with Debbie last week about what Jack was involved with. 25 hours and 12 minutes in the conditions to do 108 miles, man. Quite phenomenal. But Jack Scott's a phenomenal runner and human. So well done to Jack. And then the ladies' winner was Sarah Page in a time of 29 hours and 3 minutes. Sarah had a brilliant run at the lakes last year as well. The mountain rescue, the men's winner was 33 hours 58 minutes, John Evison, and then previous guest, friend of the show, world record holder in hunters of Hings, Sarah Perry, in 31 hours and 37 minutes. Quite brilliant. Sarah doing that just no long after that carry on at the hill, doing that on her own pretty much for the last half a day or something. Quite brilliant. So that wraps up the Spine, which was an amazing, I think we spoke about it being like a dot watching festival, and that's exactly what it is. And the coverage is getting better all the time too.
What a roundup, John.
Thank you very much. There'll be more on the... Sorry, on you go.
I was going to say, I'm more informed now than I was 5 minutes ago. So,
yeah.
So thank you, because there is that much on the go now, and it is, unless you're totally tuned into it, it can be sometimes quite difficult to follow the other races. That, maybe you're going, I'm just going to focus on the main Spine, the 268 headline event. Yeah. That's almost belittling other events that are within it that as standalone events would be huge events. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's almost 100%. Like you've got enough events now for my bandwidth.
Yeah, and I think too, because our circle of people that we know has grown, you've got people that are appearing in events, so you want to keep an eye on what they're doing, and then you forget. I certainly forget what screen I'm looking at. There's all that different stuff happening, but there'll be more from us on the Spine in the coming weeks. But that is a bit of a roundup into what was a quite phenomenal week on the Pennine Way. So well done to everybody,
John. And I'm going to segue right into something that's still Spine related, and that is news that broke in the start of January around about a Young Hearts Run Free host whacking their name for the start line in Edale for one of these summer versions of events. John, can you tell us more about your participation in the Spine Challenger South this June?
Yeah, I had plans for this summer, and then I watched Catherine Cowie and Gillian McGill in the Summer Spine last June, and then the emails come into your inbox because you've signed up for knowledge about things for Montaigne, and then it comes up and it says this race opens at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I found myself the next morning sitting going F5 on the computer to refresh and to get in. And there you go. I'm now going to take part in the Summer South Challenger. That's what Spine Summer South Challenger, the 108-mile version of it. The longest I'll have ever ran or moved, hopefully. So you get 6 hours to complete it. I can't remember the date. I think it's something like the 13th of June. It's a week before the West Highland Way race anyway. So you get 60 hours to get yourself from Edale to Hardraw. So currently looking at planning some recce's, getting down there, and Coach Fiona has me, it's almost like a wee training plan to get ready for the training plan. Like, I think what she means is, I'm going to stop drinking so much beer and eating shite. So we'll get ready, so we'll get focused. So she's got me on that 4-week thing now.
A primer.
A primer, yes. That's it. The opposite of a taper. It's a primer.
Oh, man.
So we're doing that.
Okay, so 108 miles, 60-hour time limit, the first 108 miles of the Pennine Way from Edale.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get to Kirkyetim. I'm not going to get to that pub. I'm not going to touch that war sitting in the plant pot. That's for another day.
That's exactly that.
Yeah.
I want to just speak to you about some of your whys. Because now you went public on the 1st of January on your own socials, but a lot of people listening won't have come onto the radar.
Yeah.
So now's your chance to tell us a bit of the motivations that you've got fueling your 108 miles.
Yeah, it's a while since I've done any fundraising for anything. And I've been thinking about this, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to be running the Summer Spine Challenger South, and I'm going to be raising funds and awareness for the Campaign Against Living Miserably. And it's to do with, it's all about talking about, but also being aware of suicide. And I'll just put a wee bit words on this. But according to the Campaign Against Living Miserably, every week in the UK, 137 people take their own lives. That's on an average. That's 137 families and friend groups and communities that are getting changed forever. So they're a brilliant charity, and what they do is they're dedicated to taking a stand against suicide, and they provide a frontline service for people who maybe need a reason to keep going. And suicide is a growing crisis across all demographics. So it's not just about males. A lot of focus seems to be on males, but it's males and it's ladies too. So the work's never been as vital as it is just now. I read as well that a phone call to Campaign Against Living Miserably, they've got a helpline. It averages out about £12.20, but that £12.20 could save a life. So what I've done is I've multiplied £12.20 by 365. So a phone call a day. That's what I'm looking to do. And that comes in at my total I'm looking to raise is about just under £4,500. And so, listen, I know that people's lives are busy, but if you're able to donate even just the price of a drink, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not able to donate, that's totally cool. But please share the fundraising page or link with your networks, and that would be a great help. So that's what I'm doing. And I've also got to say, the reason for the shaved head, this only happens in my heat, right? This only happens in my heat. But I thought it'd be a great idea. People who know me for a while, they know that I went between birthdays and I never shaved my beard. I grew a beard for a year. This year, I'm going to shave my chin, but from the 1st of January, I shaved my head bald with a Gillette Mach 3 Turbo, and I'm not cutting a hair on the top of my head again until the 31st of December this year. So my hair's going to go mental, but it's just a reminder for me and for everybody else. So, okay.
Thank you, John, and well done for putting yourself out there on this one and being brave and bold enough to sign up for that race, because it's no small feat, as we know from speaking to guests and things like that. So I'll take a lot of inspiration out of that myself, and I'm sure other people listening in will feel exactly the same. And if you do see John this year and his hair's looking a bit unkempt or wiry, I'm sure you'll hate looking funky as you do. But that's a wee bit of a reminder, a conversation starter, whatever you want to say that's it. And then John's message about over onto his fundraising page that we'll put in the show notes.
Yep, yeah, you can do that.
And throw what you can into that charity bucket. It would be hugely appreciated, I know, by John and the charity.
Yeah, I mentioned that £12.20 thing, but hey, if it's a couple of quid, that's absolutely brilliant because it all comes together. So yeah, brilliant. You're also doing a wee fundraiser, Stevie boy. You're also taking part in, it might not be one of the bright, shiny world major stars, but you're going to a major city, aren't you?
I am. It's kind of in the shadow, standing in the shadow of giants here a little bit in comparison to what you're doing. But yeah, I've no ran a race since Tokyo last year, which was March. So no kicking the arse off a year. And that's just because of some life events that have been happening. And I've just been running for the mind space and the health benefits, etc., without the pressure or overhead of thinking I need to train for this, I need to train for that. However, I always said, right, 2026, what's on the agenda? And then the opportunity to run in the Paris Marathon presented itself to me, and I thought, right, that's a good it's April, 12th of April. It's a good, whatever, 3.5 months after the festive. Can do a wee marathon training block. And it was the Rue Prize Spinal Trust, who's a charity that both John and I have run for before, at London and Berlin, I think.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
And we've remained in touch with the charity, who are absolutely phenomenal people. And they highlighted an opportunity to take part representing them in Paris. So I'll also be doing a bit of fundraising for that, the Rue Prize Spinal Trust, or RST as we fondly know them as, in the build up to that. So yeah, that's my return to pinning a number on my vest and getting going. And it's the biggest marathon in the world now.
Yeah, with the number of starters, number of people
participants. Yeah, it's like about 60,000. So,
and you're talking about following the footsteps of giants. Coach Fiona's been in Paris before. She's done it, man.
Yeah. Fiona did it last year, and she warned me about a little cobbled section that she
and of course
twisted her ankle on. So,
and I'm sure there'll be no competitive looking at times or anything like that. But we won't. Maybe we'll go into that later.
Regarding that, whatever my time is this year, it'll be a V50 PB.
A V50 and a Parisian Va-Va-Voom PB, Stevie Boy.
Yeah, and I'll have some friendly company as well. But more on that in season 15.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. And also, listeners, dear listeners, please get in touch. Send us a message on socials or tag us in. What are you folks doing this year? Let's set the scene, man. Let's set this place alight. Come on. What's happening? So it's very, very exciting. So thank you, Stephen. We should also give a wee shout out to, we've been contacted by a few people on our social media about a thing that's happened just now. A Megan Boxall, Sarah Perry herself got in touch with us. Megan Boxall is running the circumference of the UK in 200 days, doing a marathon a day, 200 marathons consecutively. Her Instagram handle, and we'll put this in the show notes, is Megan.RunBritain. She's currently in Scotland. She's over, Steve, I'm going to say that name of that place again. I said that wrong.
Kirkcudbright.
So she's in Scotland, heading over to the west coast. She's going clockwise around the island. And then, so she's heading over to the west coast, and then she'll make her way up. So we'll put a link to the tracker in the show notes as well. She's also looking for people to go and run with her. She's raising funds for the Samaritans as she's doing this. So a brilliant, the whole thing is brilliant. So if you're in the vicinity of anywhere she's going to be, pop along. If you've got a Young Hearts Run Free buff, put it on and tell her that the boys sent you, and get back to us, get photos, get us on socials with us. So let's cheer Megan on her way around, certainly the Scottish leg for now.
Yeah? Absolutely. It's like 5,300 miles or something.
Aye, it's absolute chaos. I love that she's even thought about doing it. I think her uncle done it years ago, walking. So that's what's inspired her to do it, you know. So I'll certainly look and see if it fits in, if she's coming down the East Coast to go and see her.
Fife Coastal Path is ringing bells, you know, for that intersection moment.
Maybe to put some folk out to slow down a wee bit for me to run 500 yards with her. There you go, Megan. So,
brilliant, Megan. Yeah, yes, we'll be keeping up with her as she makes her way around the Scottish coastline.
Yeah, definitely. Is that us?
Well, just something else happening this weekend you referred to at the start down in Cornwall. Arc of Attrition taking place. We had Fergie, who's one of the race directors, down at the Arc, one of the famed winter ultras, and they'll get all kind of spicy weather, I'm sure. Neil McNichol, I noticed, is down to run the 100 miler. There's a 50-mile version as well. So we'll see what happens. I think it's Saturday. Is it Saturday that it gets underway? We'll see how that goes and report back on this year's Arc of Attrition.
Definitely. Brilliant. Are we going to, the Arc of Attrition song, is Mr. Brightside 3 times on the bunce, isn't it? That's what they do at the end. That's what they do when they finish. Are we going to go with a tune for this week?
Are we? Have you got one in your head, like?
Well, I don't know. The one, when we were speaking about Megan, I was thinking about the 500 miles by the Proclaimers. That was the one that was in my head. Do 500 more, but we could also do anything you like. The answer to nobody, Stevie Pie. You got a tune in your head?
No, I've not got a tune in my head.
Let's do Mr. Brightside for our attrition. It's their weekend. Let's do that.
Definitely. Let's go Mr. Brightside, and we'll be back next week, the week after that, with accumulation of season 14. A couple of absolute belters coming up.
Yes.
Absolute unmissables coming up before we bringe into season 15. So, yeah, cheers for tuning in to our express episode this week.